With you. So that was great. And we're going to talk about heart healthy diets. And one thing that's really good for you is to get more plants in your diet. So that's the topic, is making your diet green, a plant-based lifestyle. So now I got to share screen. And I got to go to here. And then I got to do my slideshow from the beginning. Okay, everybody sees that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice and big.
Nice and big. So I'll just start real quick. Do you all know what a registered dietitian is? Does anybody want to tell me what a registered dietitian is?
Well, you're licensed as a dietitian. You had to go to school to complete a lot of classes.
In fact, yesterday I got word that I am now licensed for another 5 years because I completed my 75 hours of coursework.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you have 5 years to do it. So I did it in a year and a half because I would kind of put it off. So I'm very proud of myself. It's done.
As you should be.
And so a dietitian is the people who are medically trained to talk about nutrition. They work in hospitals. They work in WIC programs, women, infants, and children programs. They work in the community. But the important thing that I want to explain to you is that dietitians, the only things that we can talk about, we kind of sign an oath that whatever we present to the public, whatever education that we do is science-based, which means someone's done a study and that study's been approved. It's from the Journal of American Medical Association, the JAMA Journal, there's New England Journal of Medicine. I mean, these are proven studies. So we can only talk about what science actually has proved. So what I'm presenting today is based on science. Anybody can call themselves a nutritionist. They don't have to have any license or anything like that, but a dietitian has to be licensed, and we are only allowed to talk about what the science is proved. So we're going to talk about plant-based diets. What is
Holly, I'm gonna mute everybody just so there's no extra noise. Just
okay. So what's a plant-based diet? So we're gonna talk about vegetarianism, but really what we're talking about here today is having a plant-based diet, which means that it's a diet that incorporates more plants as the main source of nutrition than meat. Okay, so we'll talk about the different types of diet. You don't totally cut out meat, but you make some changes to include more plants and vegetables and less meat products. Okay, what are the different types of diets? So we have Mediterranean. That's one that you probably have heard of. Mediterranean is they eat fish, dairy, eggs. Eggs are eaten once or twice a week. Meat is eaten very rarely and in very small amounts. And that's probably the diet that if you talk to dietitians and you talk to medical doctors, they'll tell you that this is the one that's probably the easiest one to follow and probably the healthiest diet for anyone, for any human being. Flexitarian is they eat eggs, dairy is always allowed. Occasionally they'll eat meat and fish, and they eat seafood once to twice a week. So, and usually people are going to choose this diet because of sometimes religious reasons or, that's kind of why people do the flexitarian. There's vegetarian. Vegetarian means that they eat, they never eat any meat, chicken, or seafood. They only eat eggs and dairy. So, and of course, lots of vegetables. And vegan, that's the strictest, and that's nothing animal-based. So if you're a vegan, you don't eat anything that comes from an animal product. I remember I was working for Marriott School Lunch Program in Madison, Connecticut, and we were catering to a camp that was kosher. And we provided them with a salad, which was what we call ambrosia salad. So it's mayonnaise and oranges, and it had marshmallows in it. And they said, oh, no, we can't. Marshmallows aren't kosher. Marshmallows come from, make marshmallows, it's gelatin. Gelatin comes from animal products, and you can't mix dairy with the animal because that's sour cream in it. So So vegan meat is very strict. It means you're not eating any animal products at all. Everything comes from the earth. Okay, and there's pescatarian. Pescatarian is no meat or poultry, but they allow eggs and fish. So what are the benefits of a plant-based diet? It boosts your immune system. It reduces inflammation. It helps to maintain a healthy weight. It increases fiber in your diet, and it can lower cancer risk. Okay, so how does it do that? Boost your immune system. It supports the immune system by helping to tame inflammation. So antioxidants, which was one of our quiz questions this morning, if you were with us, antioxidants prevent or delay cell damage, which means that antioxidants are really good to prevent inflammation. And the antioxidants are vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E, beta carotene, which we find in carrots, lycopene, and lutein, which we find in deep red vegetables, selenium, manganese, and flavonoids, which we also talked about. Dark chocolate, for instance, is high in flavonoids, so that will help you to keep the immune system. Those are called antioxidants. It helps to maintain a healthy weight. So there's a lot more calories in meat products. Meat products generally have some, if not a lot of fat associated with it. So you may not know this, but if you eat 1 gram of meat, there's going to be some fat in there. Well, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So 1 gram of butter is going to give you 9 calories. 1 gram of a vegetable gives you 4 calories for the same weight. So that's why eating more fruits and vegetables has less calories. And you also want to, if you're going to eat meat, obviously eat very lean meat would be the preferred. Increases fiber in your diet. Fiber in your diet lowers the odds of colorectal cancer. Fiber also lowers the cholesterol that gets into your blood, so that helps to keep your heart healthy and reduces the amount of plaque in your arteries. And then it protects the environment. Is that on here? Can lower cancer risk. That's because of the flavonoids and the antioxidants. And also a high fiber diet also reduces your risk of cancer. And lastly, it protects the environment. So it takes 11 times more fossil energy and 100 times more water to produce animal protein than plant protein. So a plant-based diet is better for the environment, more friendly. So what are some of the potential pitfalls? As I said before, probably the best diet is the Mediterranean, where you have a balance. If you go to being a vegan or one of those forms of vegetarians, there are some challenges.
Holly, hold up. Holly, if anybody has a question, if they want to write it in the chat, and then we can come back to it when we circle around.
Okay. So you can't get everything you need in a plant-based diet. And specifically, that's going to be B12, which I'm going to talk about. But so deficiencies. So protein is a problem. Most protein that we eat in our diet comes from animal products, and that's going to be dairy, eggs, and meat, fish. So that is a challenge. So you have to find alternate sources of getting protein in your diet. If you go to being a vegan and you don't allow any animal products at all, it's very hard to get calcium. Calcium is found in some vegetables. Some vegetables are high in calcium. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But calcium is needed for blood clotting. You know, we think about calcium's good for your bones, but calcium is, your bloodstream always has to have a certain amount of calcium in it all the time. So in order to have certain chemical reactions for enzymes to work, for hormones to work, to have nerve function. So calcium is, for nerves to work, you need calcium. And nerves cause your muscles to contract, right? And relax, and that's how your heart works. So you have to have calcium in order to have nerve function, in order for basically anything in your body to work. So if you don't have enough calcium in your bloodstream and you're not eating enough calcium, the body just takes it from your bones, because you have to have a certain percentage of calcium in your bloodstream at all times. So so calcium is something that we have to have, and we associate it, of course, with milk, yogurt, cheese. But if you eliminate that from your diet, then you're going to have to find calcium from other sources. Iron. So iron typically also comes from red meat. Those are also high, and organ meats are very high in iron. So you have to find sources of iron that are not from meats. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But basically, you know, spinach is high in iron, dark green leafy vegetables, you can get iron. The tricky one is B12. So B12 is really only found in animal products. So we have to find a way in our diet, if you're eliminating meat and animal products, you're going to have to find another way to get B12. B12 is so we'll talk about that in a minute. And so if you're gonna go to being a vegetarian, you really need to plan your meals. We're going to talk about how to do that, but you have to find ways to get protein, calcium, iron, and B12 into your diet. And those things typically right now in a typical American diet, we get that from animal products. So when you switch over to vegetarian or part vegetarian, we're going to need to make up those deficiencies in our diet through plant foods or sometimes supplements. And you might have to cook a lot of foods from scratch because it's kind of hard to do that with prepared foods. And the reason we want to cook from scratch also is that the healthiest food is food that's closest to its source and less processed. So when you go to the supermarket and you see all the ingredient list is a mile long, that's a highly processed food. And generally that's not the healthiest choice. We want to pick things that have the least number of ingredients that's closest to its source. So I'll tell you a funny story that I was working in Weston public schools, and there was these two moms who had lived in France. And I guess in France, in these little towns, their lunch program, the schools actually grow the food for the program. It's got all fresh fish, and it's all wonderful. And they wanted to bring that back to Weston. So they were very critical of me that, well, you know, our spaghetti sauce wasn't from scratch. And I said, well, I open up cans of pureed tomato. The only ingredient in that can is tomato. We add fresh garlic. We add fresh onions. I think we put tomato paste in it. Tomato paste, the only ingredient in tomato paste was tomatoes. And the ladies said to me, oh, no, we want you to buy the tomatoes and then, you know, take the skins off them and then make tomato sauce. And, you know, really? I don't think so. So what is scratch cooking? Well, you know, for us, and you're making portions for 300 people. So that would be kind of like labor intensive for us to do. But what we want to do is just make sure that the ingredients that we buy for our food has the least amount of ingredients possible, closest to its original source. And frozen food's okay. You know, these days they flash freeze it. It gets off it's picked and immediately frozen. So it's okay to use frozen vegetables. Frozen's better than canned. Canned tends to have some sodium in it. And even if it says low, like you'll see corn, it's usually not salt-free. It'll be low sodium, which means they've reduced the sodium in it, but canned food tends to still have salt in it, and you're better off with frozen. So I put this slide in because one thing to watch out for is certain fruits and vegetables are high in oxalates, but they're also high in calcium. So there's a lot of calcium in broccoli. So if you eat broccoli with a high oxalate food, the high oxalates will actually kind of bind to the calcium, so you don't get as much calcium out of the broccoli as you would if you ate the broccoli without a high oxalate food. Also, if you eat juice, like if you eat something with an acid, Vitamin C is better absorbed in the body. So those are kind of things that you need to be aware of. But foods that are high in oxalates will bind to the calcium in foods, in vegetables that you eat. So you want to make sure that when you eat, you're trying to get calcium out of the broccoli, you eat it with a food that is, not going to be high in oxalates. Does that make sense? Calcium, there's calcium. These are plant foods that are high in calcium. So cabbage, spinach, green beans, kale, butternut squash, all this would be high in calcium. And you don't have to have dairy products. Iron, there's iron in plant foods. So these are ones that are high in iron. Chia seeds, Swiss chard, coconut meat, pine nuts, apricots, tomatoes. So all those things are high in iron. So if you're not eating a meat-based diet, which is very easy to get iron, you want to make sure that you eat some of these foods that are high in iron. So B12 you can't get from plants. B12 is for production of DNA, which is the cell divisions. So for cells to renew themselves, they have to have B12. B12 deficiency, and again, this is B12 is the hardest thing to get if you go to be a vegetarian. So if you're eating meat, you're probably going to get enough B12. If you're not eating any meat products, then you have to be aware that you may have to get a supplement or have nutritional yeast in your food. You just kind of sprinkle it on top. That's high in B12, but you should talk to your doctor about it because there's different doses that people need. B12 deficiencies cause megaloblastic anemia. The red blood cells are enlarged and cannot divide. Red blood cells is what carries oxygen throughout the body into your brain. So nerve damage. This was interesting. If you're low in B12, it can be because of depression, mental confusion, tingling, numbness in your extremities. All that's a sign, could be a sign of B12 deficiency. So where do you get B12 if you're a vegan? Nutritional yeast or supplements. And sometimes you could get B12 shots. Sometimes your doctor might give you a B12 shot. But that's the big challenge with going to a plant-based diet.
So I did have a question, Holly.
Sure.
Is there a chart that you have that shows the best food combinations for maximum nutrition? So someone wasn't sure what to eat with broccoli.
What to eat with broccoli? No, because if you just go back to, you want to avoid those high oxalate foods. So you wouldn't want to combine spinach and broccoli in the same dish because there's a lot of oxalates in the spinach. That's going to tie up the calcium that's in the broccoli. So.
What about, so going back to that, I'm sorry, say you do like a stir fry, you have several of those ingredients. You don't want to do that. You just want to stick with the low.
You can, and the point that they made is that you will still absorb some of it. You're just not going to absorb the maximum amount.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, good question. Anybody else?
Well, I'm sure we'll get some when we
Okay,
get
calcium, iron, vitamin B. Okay. So how do we avoid the deficiencies? Eat a variety of plant foods. We always say eat the rainbow. Eat the more colorful the fruit or vegetable is, the more nutrition there is in it. Rice and beans. So rice and beans is a combination that there's certain amino acids which make up proteins, and there's some amino acids are called essential amino acids. But like if you eat an egg, you get all the amino acids that you need in one food. Most meats are that way. If you eat a vegetable, they may be high in one amino acid and low in another. So that's, again, going back to that question, you need to know what the combinations are. And I don't really go into this on this talk, but rice and beans is an example of rice is high in one thing, beans are high in the other. They complement each other, and they're called complementary proteins. So that gives you a complete protein. And as I said, if you eat an egg, that's a complete protein that has all the amino acids that you need to build muscles. So what protein does is build muscles, but proteins also use the enzymes are made of protein in your body. So it has there's a lot of chemistry that goes on in proteins as well. So you can look for fortified food products. Some things are fortified in vitamin D. Orange juice is fortified in calcium, and that's a perfect example. If you have the juice that says orange juice that says vitamin C and it's fortified with calcium, that's because if you drink something acidic with something that has calcium, you absorb more calcium. So that's the reason that they chose orange juice to fortify it. So if you don't drink milk, you can get calcium and you absorb a lot of it because you're drinking it in an acidic environment. So you can get fortified products. And then there's nutritional yeast. It adds extra vitamins and minerals and protein to meals. They did warn about it. It's kind of like, for some people, it's like MSG. You can get a reaction to it, and not to use, is that on my next slide? Yeah. I talked to your doctor about supplements. A little goes a long way with a nutritional yeast. And for some people, it does, they do have kind of a bellyache with it. So, try it out gradually or talk to your doctor about it. And there's a picture of it. So for 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, you get 60 calories. There's almost no fat in it. And there's almost no carbohydrate in it. There's 8 grams of protein, which is pretty good. So it's a way to increase the protein and get some B12 and the B vitamins. You can see on this with the nutritional yeast, you get B1 thiamine, B2 riboflavin, B3 niacin, you get B6, you get B9 in it, and you get B12. You get 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, you get 400% of the daily requirement for B12. So, but you do have to be careful. If you're taking MAOI drugs, they don't want you to use nutritional yeast. So again, ask your doctor before you decide to add nutritional yeast to your diet. What are some changes I can make on my own? And this is an idea. Try doing a vegetarian meal 1 night a week. There's this whole group, nonprofit in New York City that started the concept of Meatless Mondays for restaurants. And they're trying to get people to do Meatless Mondays. And again, not eating meat is better for the environment. So that's one reason. And 2, it's better health for you. Fill up half your plate with veggies and whole grains at every meal. I'm going to show you that on the next chart. Incorporate whole grains with breakfast. So, you should really only eat food that's whole grain. So whole grain breads, whole grain cereals. Try replacing lunch or dinner with a salad a few times a week. Again, if you eat eggs in your diet, that's a good place is to chop it up, put it in a salad, make a deviled egg. You can make 1 deviled egg or 2 deviled eggs if at a time. And that's really a good way to get some protein in your diet as well. And then most of your lunch is going to be fiber and vegetables. So
I had a question. Can you put nutritional yeast on popcorn?
Yes, people do that a lot. Yeah.
Julene asked that.
Yeah, people do that a lot. I've never had it. People say it's kind of like having cheese on your popcorn, but yes. So here's just some helpful eating charts. This is from the Harvard School of Public Health, and it's a kind of a takeoff on the My Plate. The USDA did this about 10 years ago. Instead of the food pyramid, they decided to go with this concept. So you can see that half the plate is fruits and vegetables. And then the other half is grains and healthy proteins. Choose fish, poultry, beans, and nuts. Limit red meat. Avoid bacon, cold cuts, and other processed meats. And eat whole grains. Drink water, tea, or coffee. Avoid sugary drinks. Healthy oils. So how do you know if an oil is healthy? There's a really simple way to know that. Anybody know? They're all
Everybody's muted.
The reason is if it's liquid at room temperature. So oils that are liquid at room temperature mean they're unsaturated fats, and those are the healthy ones for us. The more veggies and the greater variety, the better. Potatoes and French fries are not a vegetable, according to Harvard School. of
Darn it.
What would be, so I think they're really talking about white potatoes, but if you had a choice, and you really wanted a potato, a sweet potato would be a better option than a white potato. Because a sweet potato is going to give you vitamin A, a lot of vitamin A. Potatoes give you vitamin C, but that's about it, and starch. So it's just carbohydrate, and there's some vitamin. There's a lot of vitamin C in potatoes, but there's healthier ways to get vitamin C. So now we're back to another chart. This is a pyramid, the Mediterranean chart, and I'm maybe a little fuzzy. And this one is have meat vary a few times per month to have red meat, and then sweets very limited, eggs limited, poultry, fish. And then you can see that most of the diet is going to be whole grains on the bottom, beans, legumes, and nuts. Nuts are a really good source of protein, and they also have the healthy fats in them for you. Vegetables and fruits, olive oil, cheese and yogurt on occasion, and then, fish and, as I said, poultry, eggs, sweets, and red meat, very limited.
What kind of fish do they recommend?
What?
What kind of fish would you recommend?
You want to have, well, the oily fishes are really good for you, like salmon, because it has the omega-3 fatty acids in them. It's that's an antioxidant and can help prevent cancer. And they've proven that that helps inflammation. So that's really the best. Personally, I don't like the farmed fish. Maybe that's because I went to fish farms in Idaho where my brother lives. And I was like, I don't know, I like this whole farming thing, but.
You see that a lot with tilapia, right?
Tilapia, people, yeah. You have to, there's two ways of thinking of tilapia. Some people think it's really good. It's got, less fat. It's a white fish. But I don't think there's as much nutrition in it as like a salmon would have. But salmon is farmed too. So,
What about cod?
Cod is a white fish, again, very low in fat, but doesn't have it. It's not an oily fish, so it doesn't have the omega-3s.
Got
All right. So make sure your plate is half fruits and veggies. Okay, let's see. So here's some recipes, and I sent these out, and if you didn't get them, you can email me, and I'll email you the recipes. I'll be making this on a food demo this Thursday. And it's vegan stuffed squash with brown rice and mushrooms. It's very good. It's made with whatever kind of winter squash. I did it with butternut squash when I practiced it. It also has spinach in it and mushrooms, a little white wine for flavor, has some nutritional yeast in it, spinach, which is high in iron. So this is, every serving is 450 calories, total fat's 12 grams, vitamin C, 127%. It's pretty high in calcium, 28%. Iron is 50% because of the, largely because of the nutritional yeast and the spinach. And it's got 49% of the B12 you need for the day, 43% of your vitamin K. So I think, it says serves 4. I actually think it serves, from my perspective, I don't eat those big portions. So I think you can actually make it and get more meals out of it and therefore less calories. Let's see, did she give me another one? This one was included in the calendar that we put out for February and March, and these are black bean burgers. The big thing now is, what's it called, Jason? The meat. Like if you go to Burger King, you can get.
Yeah, the fake meat or
yeah, I forget
Beyond Burger.
Beyond Burger, yes.
Yeah.
This is basically what it is. It's beans. It's beans and rice. This has got potatoes to kind of hold it together. And you can top it however you want. It's a good source of protein. It's got almost no fat in it, so very healthy. Yeah. Okay. All right. So benefits of more green in your diet: increases fiber, reduces inflammation, maintains a lower body weight, decreases your cancer risk. If you decide to go full vegetarian, make sure you talk with your doctor about supplements. Simple changes can help you incorporate greens in your day. Meatless Mondays, try a salad. And no matter what, make sure half your plate is fruits and vegetables at every meal. So, we have questions and a quiz. Do you want to do the quiz first?
Well, let's stop the screen. Well, everybody has to unmute. Here, I can ask to unmute. Here, let me unmute. Oops.
I have a question, Jason.
Sure.
It's Virginia.
Yes.
I have two questions, actually. Holly, did I miss it, or did you tell us where to get the nutritional yeast?
So that is sold in the grocery store. I think Whole Foods probably also has it. It's on your bigger grocery stores, is nutritional yeast.
I have never seen it.
No, it's going to be in the, like, Stop and Shop has the organic section. That's probably where it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
It's not brewer's yeast. It's called nutritional yeast. There's brewer's
okay.
yeast. You don't want brewer's yeast. You want nutritional.
Nutritional. All right, I'm going to go get some.
I think I don't know if we have any of those stores that sell.
I probably could get it at the health food store.
Patty's waving. Yes, Patty?
So I don't know if everybody can see, it's this organic broccoli slaw mix from Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Now, Holly, this is all like pre-cut.
Yep.
Is it good, or does it lose a lot of its nutritional value? And
No, it's good, especially it's mostly cabbage. That's gonna, no, that's fine. It's good.
Okay,
I
great,
love
thanks.
I love those. That's a new thing that you go to the market and you can get these coleslaw, but they're all different flavors. They have kale in them, and they come with a dressing, and they're very good. My husband and I have been enjoying them. And then you can also cook with them and saute them, forget the sauce and just saute it in a little olive oil and have it for dinner.
All right. So do you want to ask the questions now, or can you stop
Now,
the
Patty's
screen
got
share?
something else she wants
So
to
can you
share.
stop the share?
Oh, yeah.
So let's
And Virginia has another question.
hold up. There we go. Okay.
So if you don't like the farm raised fish,
Yeah.
where you try just to get the wild caught when you go to the store?
Yes.
And what do you think about the Norwegian salmon? I always think if I'm going to get farm raised, I'll get it from Norway, because I don't think they have as many people running around in boats as they do here.
Well, they have electric cars, that's for sure.
Wild, I would prefer to buy wild than to buy the farmed, but I think it's still a better choice than buying meat. So, you kind of weigh your options, and really you don't want to just eat too much of anything is not good. So it's a balanced diet.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. What's the quiz, Holly?
Oh, you have to go back to share screen. Or do I have to go back?
Yeah, you
Do I
got to
have to
go
go
back. Yeah, you got to go back.
Okay. All right. Let's do a little quiz here. All right. Do it. Quiz time. Okay. What is a benefit of a plant-based diet? A, increase fiber. D, decrease cancer risk. C, reduce inflammation. D, all of the above.
D, the above.
All the above.
It is D, all of the above. What is the best way to get a complete protein without meat? A, take some protein pills. B, eat rice and beans. C, sneak some meat when no one is looking.
It's B.
D,
Eat
drink
rice
some
and
extra
beans.
water.
Rice and beans. Rice and beans.
It is B, rice and beans. What is a nutrient that we might lack with a vegetarian diet? Protein, calcium,
B12.
iron,
B12.
B12.
All the above.
It's
Actually, all of them.
B12.
all of the above.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I went over this. What is the minimum recommended servings of fruits and vegetables each day?
5.
Yeah, it's 5 a day. That's what we're all taught, 5 a day. What is the easiest way to get all your daily fruits and veggies in? Eat as many as you can in one sitting. Eat them only as snacks throughout the day. Make sure half your plate at each meal is fruits and vegetables, or throw them all out the window.
C.
Make sure half your plate and each meal is made up of fruits and veggies.
Very good. Good.
Oh.
That is a nice slideshow. That's a
I have
good.
a couple other recipes to share with you. So hold on, let me. No.
That's so
Patty,
cute.
were you gonna screen share something?
Oh, this was just
No.
a new yogurt I got yesterday at Stu Leonard's. It says it has probiotics in it.
Ah, yes.
Right.
And I think it has more than usual.
Okay.
And it has 110 calories. When it comes to sugar, it says 10 sugars. I can,
Wow, that's a lot.
for some people, yeah, it might be a lot for
That
some
might be a
people.
lot. What brand is it called?
But it's Chobani, the
Oh,
probiotic.
Chobani? Okay.
It's a new one they have, so
Right. You can do as well with Activia, I think.
yeah.
But this is a lot more, a bigger serving.
Yeah.
Activia is very small.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Yes. I'm trying to find why that didn't work. Oh, okay.
Yes, Virginia, go
College.
ahead.
Yes.
Collagen.
Collagen,
Pills?
yes.
Pills, powder, naturally occurring in food.
Well,
Which
it
one of
depends
the
what you,
three?
all right, why are you taking collagen?
Well, I'm not the only one taking it. My next door neighbor, of course, who passed away, she was taking collagen in a powdered form. I take it in a pill form because, as we get older, our hair gets thin. So I'm thinking maybe if I take collagen, it'll help my hair.
So it is
Same as I
for
take
hair.
biotin.
Yeah, it is hair and fingernails.
Nails.
Yep,
Yes.
yep, it is good for you.
Okay.
Yeah, supplement
what-
works. I mean,
what
you have to
food
eat a
ha-
lot of gelatin and to really, how else would you get collagen from your diet? I mean, it's
Oh,
mostly
so gelatin. If I made the tomato aspect, that has collagen.
Yes, gelatin is collagen.
Ah, I didn't
That's what it
realize
is. Exactly.
that. Oh, I could get
Remember
two.
Knox gelatin?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's gelatin, exactly.
Yeah, I get.
That's what
I
it is.
have it. I'll make myself one.
I'm trying to find, I lost the recipes that I had already pulled up for you guys. There's some more recipes I wanted to talk about.
Are you sending those out to us?
I did, but I can send them again.
I didn't get any recipes.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
happy.
didn't
to
see
send
any
them.
recipes either.
Okay.
Patty, how long does it take you to decorate your windows?
All right.
Oh, it's not too long, but it's really funny. I will share. When I was a little girl, my mom and dad would let me decorate all the windows in the house for every holiday. And so it's kind of full circle now. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's adorable, Patty. We love it.
Thanks,
We love
thanks.
you anyway.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, here we go.
So here are some recipes. So when I do it's kind of a big screen and I don't know how to make it smaller.
I took a
Yeah,
picture
hit
with
that.
my
There you go.
phone.
There you go. So
Yeah,
now
but
I can email this to you. So the squash that I'm making on Thursday is going to be stuffed into the shell of the squash. And I think it's a lot of work. This is actually a very similar recipe. And this is called a butternut eggplant vegetable bowl. And basically, instead of stuffing it in the squash, you buy butternut squash that's already peeled, which is a lot easier. And it's already chopped for you. And then you put it into this vegetable bowl. And so you don't serve it in the skin of the squash. It doesn't look as pretty, but it's the same thing and just a lot easier. So, so this is eggplant. I can send this one to you. Red lentil soup. Soup is especially with beans, it's a really good way to get protein in your diet and vegetables. Just make sure if you're using chicken broth or vegetable broth, it's low sodium. I think I'm going to make this for dinner tonight or tomorrow night, lasagna bowl. So it's lasagna, but instead of the pasta, you actually take a vegetable peeler that is wider than your zucchini. So you make really long, wide strips of zucchini and with the vegetable peeler, and then you use that as your pot. Instead of pasta, you layer with the zucchini. So this is a very low carbohydrate. That's why it's 398 calories per serving. It's got part skim mozzarella. It's got baby spinach in it. It's high in iron. And it's got mushrooms in it, which you can leave in or out if you don't like mushrooms. Fresh basil, onions, and there is, I think, some reduced fat mozzarella in it. So,
That sounds good.
yeah, it's really good. This one is an easy vegetable stir fry with creamy peanut sauce. And what you can do is you can go to the grocery store and you can get a frozen bag of
Stir fry.
Chinese type vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, it'll be a combination thing. And then you just make the peanut sauce and toss it. Peanut butter is very high in proteins, got good fat in it for you. You want to make sure, it's not the high, sometimes you'll see it like it'll say low sugar, low sodium. That's a better choice. But I also wrote in here at the bottom, this is their peanut sauce, which doesn't make a lot. This is for 2 servings, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, chili sauce, which is just ketchup that's got I put horseradish in it and it kind of works. But this is my peanut sauce down here. I make the Moosewood restaurant in Ithaca, New York. It was one of the first vegetarian restaurants really in the country. I have their cookbook from 1977. There's my cookbook. But this one, it's a half a cup of peanut butter, half a cup of boiling water. So I make it like I take a 2-cup Pyrex measuring cup. I put the peanut butter in it, and then I just I boil the water in it, and then I add the peanut butter. The peanut butter gets liquidy from the boiling water. Put some soy sauce, sugar. You don't have to put 2 tablespoons in. That's the recipe. I cut that in half to 1. 3 cloves of garlic and a little cider vinegar. It is delicious. I use it as a dip with carrots and celery sticks. And then I put it on vegetables. I put it on pasta. And again, it's high in protein. It's healthy protein. And it tastes different. It just tastes good. Every now and then I'm kind of in the mood for it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make this for
My husband loves
Valentine's.
peanut butter, and he has this thing about like we can never be out of peanut butter in the house. Like it is a disaster if I run out of peanut butter. So when I make this sauce, he's like, "Are you sure we have enough peanut butter for you?" Because I'm using a half a cup of peanut butter. So he rations the peanut butter at home. So I have to, you sure you have enough peanut butter if you're going to make that sauce? I said, yes, I'll have to.
Hey, Holly, I have a suggestion, Holly.
Yes,
Do what I do, and I live alone. I always have a backup.
yes.
When I open up a jar of
Yeah, I
something,
know.
I get
Yep.
another jar and I have a backup. And
That's
while
what
I'm
I
at
did
it, can I
yesterday. I
ask you
used the
another?
end of the mayonnaise jar and I had my backup. So now mayo's on my list.
Yeah. And
But,
now here's the thing. I have another question when you're ready for questions.
I'm ready for questions.
Oh, on the rice and beans thing, I don't like to eat rice.
Okay.
Would a potato be a good substitute? Or of the 3, pasta, rice, and potato, isn't potato probably the best substitute?
Brown rice is probably your best bet.
Best brown rice.
Is
Okay.
brown rice. Second would be, what was your choices?
Potato or
Pasta.
rice or white
No,
rice.
it's pasta.
Pasta,
was on.
unless your pasta is whole grain, which isn't the tastiest pasta, I don't think.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But
good.
no, the whole grain pasta is not great. So I would say brown rice is number 1. Oh, she's
And
got peanut butter.
potato, where does the potato
Baked
come?
potato's okay. It's just high in starch, and you can eat baked potato. You just have to, Patty. You just have to, eat it in moderation. There you go, Teddy's. Unsalted. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And no
no,
sugar.
Trader
Oh.
Joe's. Trader Joe's is the best.
Peanut
Really?
No sugar.
All
either.
natural.
No, all natural's good. Yep.
Trader Joe's is they're the best. They're
Mhm.
loaded with peanuts.
I have a
too.
trick for peanut butter. Spray your spoon with the with the oil
Right.
spray, and then the peanut butter comes right off, and it doesn't make a mess.
Good idea. Thank you,
Good
Sheila.
tip. Good tip.
Oh,
Good, Sheila.
because I have a recipe for a cup of peanut butter, 1 egg and sugar, and it makes the most delicious cookies you ever tasted. But if you try to get the full cup out, I put the spray on the measuring cup and also on the spoon,
Good
and
idea.
I don't have a mess to clean up.
Same if you're measuring molasses or honey or maple syrup. If you grease the measuring cup beforehand, more of it comes out. So, yeah.
Very good.
All right. Well, Patty gets an A+ for healthy products in her house.
Look at, I renamed
Oh, great.
Patty, Heart Healthy Patty.
I do have some chocolate. I do have.
Oh,
Oh, well,
Candy.
that's-
All right.
It's Valentine's Day.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you,
My
Polly.
grandfather used to have a little handful of chocolate chips every night before he went to bed. That's my
Mm.
American grandfather. And I never really knew why. And he always said, well, it's good for you. Well, actually, dark chocolate's good for you. So
Yeah.
my other grandfather smoked a lot, and he had a beer at 10:30 in the morning and another beer at 5 at night. And he lived to be 89 years old. So
All right.
you never, I think it's, and he smoked like crazy until he was probably in his 60s, like 3 packs a day.
Mm.
So, a lot of it's genes. That's all you get. And but he also was physically active. I mean, he
That's the
never sat,
secret.
he built houses. He had a greenhouse where he grew hundreds of geraniums. So he was always watering the plants. He was physical every day. He never sat at a desk. So hence he had his beer at 10:30 and then his other beer at 5 in a frosted glass. So.
Nice.
And he
Well-
ate a lot of German food. So he was, that was my German grandfather. My American grandfather, he ate American food, which was New England food, which was terrible. So he didn't eat that much because my grandmother was not a good cook. So the American grandmother.
So Holly will be on Thursday.
Yep.
With the recipe. So
Making the
love to see you guys
vegan
then. Thank you.
squash.
Are you're sending
So
out the
thank
Zoom
you all
for
for
that?
coming. But
Oh, what
yeah, I'll
what
send it
time?
out.
Thank you
Thursday.
so much.
So who
I'll send it
wants
out Thursday
the,
morning.
Thank you.
let me see, let me know who wants the recipes.
Yeah, why don't you email Holly?
Virginia, okay, I don't think I have everybody's, do I?
Elaine,
Sheila,
Sheila,
Joanne,
Yep. I've
who
got-
else?
Patty.
Jolene,
Patty wants it.
Patty, okay. Who else? I don't know who iPad 7.9 is. Who's that?
Oh, that's probably me. Yeah, I don't need the recipes, but thank
Okay.
you.
All right, no problem.
Well,
All right,
thank you,
guys.
everybody, for coming to Heart
Thank you,
Healthy Day.
thank
Hope you
you.
guys.
Yay.
This made a
Very
wonderful
helpful.
day.
Good
This has been
job.
a terrific day with the 2 people doing this.
Yeah.
Everybody involved.
Mind
It's
and
been
muscle
great.
class. It was a
We
mind
learned a
and
lot.
muscle.
We got to do it again.
Can
Oh,
I
wait,
ask
one more
Patty a
time.
question?
For those of you who like to bake, I'm doing a Hamantaschen on February 25th, if you want to sign up. I'll make Hamantaschen, and if you want to drive by and get a sample the next day. So sign up for Hamantaschen.
That's got too much effort.
Oh, she'll make them for you.
I've
You just have to
made
come by
them
the
for
center
years.
and pick them up.
I'm making them. You just have to come by and pick them
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
So,
A little
Can
bit
I
easier.
ask Patty a question?
sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Patty, I tried to get, I don't live in Westport, so I tried to get on the town's website to get your
can't.
classes, but I couldn't get on.
No, you can't.
So
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
So
no,
it
you-
wasn't
'Cause I
just
live
me.
in
No,
Fairfield
wait.
and I can't.
No,
Wait,
you
wait,
can.
wait,
Me
guys.
too.
that is
Wait,
not
you can,
correct.
because I have a friend in England
You
with his
can.
elderly mother. The link is in the newsletter that
Goes out with constant contacts.
that Denise sends out. Denise sends out the newsletter, and you click on it right at 10 o'clock, and it goes right to the link, and you'll see like a little triangle. It looks like a TV and a triangle, and you hit that. It's under meetings.
But I thought you could click on it like on Sundays or other times and it was recorded.
Oh, no, you can only watch it
Oh, okay, then I
live.
misunderstood. I
But I can
misunderstood.
email you the video anytime.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so just give me your email.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, all small letters, J Von Glinsky, VONGLINSKY @yahoo.com.
Okay, I'll send you one
Thank
in a
you
few.
so much. I've been
Sure.
trying to get, and I missed
Oh,
your
good.
class this morning. It was
I can send
unavoidable.
it to you. Julian, I recorded it. I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
Yeah, you're all set.
Thank
I
you,
am, thank
guys.
you.
Thank you, Patty. It was a wonderful
Thank
day.
you. Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
It was-
Bye, everybody. I miss
Thursday.
you.
It's a wonderful day.
I hope
Happy
I see you.
Valentine's
Thursday.
Day to
Valentine's
everyone.
Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.